Today's breaking news edition of the Cowboys Report is made possible by Rhone. We'll tell you all about them later on in today's show. Do make note you can get 20% off your order by going to Rhone.com/chatsports. We have breaking news for the third different Cowboys Report video of the day. This news dropping quite literally like 5 minutes after I sent out the video for the second one of the afternoon. That's how it goes. But Fatty's only rides again. Linval Joseph is signing with the Dallas Cowboys. That news had been broken by Josina Anderson, who had the first scoop on that one. Has now been reported by a bunch of other outlets as well, but Josina had the first scoop on that one. Fitting the Cowboys don't do things at normal times, but, you know, we're not in the office at normal office hours anyway, so we got the graphics and everything. We're here late tonight already. So this is exactly why you guys subscribe to the Cowboys Report. Am I late for dinner? Yes. Do I care? No, not really. Hit that sub button for free Cowboys videos multiple times per day, and sometimes 3 times per day, like the videos you're getting today. YouTube.com/@CowboysTV. Now, NFL Network also has the contract details for Linval Joseph. He is getting $2.5 million guaranteed on a one-year deal that is allegedly worth up to $4 million. That's actually kind of high for what I thought he was going to. That is more than what he had gotten last year from the Buffalo Bills. Now, he signed in kind of a weird time frame there, but he got $1.5 million last year from Buffalo. So a bit of a... Again, we're talking like not even $1 million difference, really. And the guarantees are playoff stuff, etc. But he's getting a decent chunk of change to come in and help the Cowboys along the interior of the defensive line. We will break down like where he sits in this room as well. But this is just the latest stint in what has become a journeyman career for Linval Joseph. Began his career with the New York Giants, then spent several years with Mike Zimmer and the Minnesota Vikings. So Zim getting the gang back together at defensive tackle with Linval in tow. I think it was 2 years, $17 million with the Chargers back when he signed for 2 years over there. Spent part of a season with the Philadelphia Eagles. The 35-year-old spent last year with the Buffalo Bills and now joining the Cowboys on one-year deal. $2.5 million guaranteed. It's kind of similar to what he could have earned over like half with Philadelphia, by the way, so we're kind of doing some similar math on that front there. Give me your one-word reaction to the signing of Linval Joseph. One-year deal, $2.5 million guaranteed, up to $4 million. One word and one word only. Let me know in the comments of today's show. Linval Joseph is not going to be a playmaking machine. I think if you're expecting, Aaron Donald, I don't think anyone actually is, but I do want to just kind of emphasize that part. That's not who you're going to get. I don't think you're going to get prime Pro Bowl version Linval. Just get 2 Pro Bowl stints back in Minnesota. This is a 35-year-old defensive tackle who actually turns 36 in October, who has played 15 games the past 2 seasons, kind of signing not necessarily in week 1. His TFL numbers have dropped, but Linval Joseph is here quite literally to be a fatty, and that is my one word, by the way, fatty, because this is what Mike Zimmer wants in his defensive tackles. He wants big guys on the interior who can eat up space. Linval Joseph can absolutely do that at the nose guard spot. There are now a couple other players on the Cowboys roster who can do that as well. So adding Joseph and knowing what his job is going to be the fatty on the interior, at least one of the fatties on the interior. I actually don't have any issues doing that. I think this is you guys know how I feel about my Fatties Only campaign. Felt like the biggest failure ever. I'm back in again with the moves they've made. Jordan Phillips is a huge person. Linval Joseph's a person. They got more beef on the interior of the defensive line than they've had in a very, very long time. Now, it's older beef, hopefully not expired, but it is still size nonetheless. Talk more about what this means for guys like Mazi Smith, Jordan Phillips, and more on Linval Joseph, but today's show is made possible by Rhone. I like clothes that aren't like big logos and that they're comfortable, of course. Look good, feel good, play good is a big belief I've always had because I love Deion Sanders. And Rhone delivers in every way I could ever want. They've got products for every occasion. Pants, dress shirts, quarter zips, polos, blazers, and more. Their signature 4-way stretch fabric is breathable, flexible, and works everywhere from commute to work, to dinner, drinks, golf. great golf polo as well. We've also got wrinkle release technology, gold fusion anti-odor technology. Simply put, the commuter collection gets you through your workday and right into whatever comes next. Head to Rhone.com/chatsports and use code chatsports. Save 20% off your entire order. That's 20% off your entire order when you head to RHONE.com/chatsports and use code chatsports. Find your corner office comfort today with Rhone. Link will be in the comment section and the description of today's show. So let's check in here, and we'll spend some time on this graphic because we're going to have to break it down a little bit here. This is what the defensive tackle, or maybe IDL, interior defensive line depth chart, looks like. First up, you've got your guys that are going to probably really be defensive ends, but they can reduce down inside in passing situations. I think Chauncey Golston fits that mold. Junior Fehoko, who I don't think is going to make this team. Marshawn Nealon can do it as well. We'll keep those guys up there until we get to the regular season, and then it'll probably just be a two-person depth chart. Your more three-technique bodies right now are Osa Odighizuwa, Albert Huggins, kind of sort of Denzel Daxon. He goes a little bit of both there. He's just the extra man because he'll be a practice squad player for you. And I think Jordan Phillips is going to spend his time at the three-technique spot. Now, to an extent, this is a different ask of that pass-rushing defensive tackle than what you would normally get. It's not like he's just going to shoot gaps the entire time. This is going to be a little more of, he's lined up in the three-technique spot. His main ask is still going to be to stop the run, but he does offer a little bit of pass rush use. Not nearly as much as Osa Odighizuwa, but you at least have a backup to him, God forbid something happens. And now you've got more proven depth at nose guard. Phillips can also help there if needed, by the way. Mazi Smith, we'll talk more in depth about him in a little bit. He's still your nose guard option. But you needed somebody else at this defensive tackle room, even after trading for Jordan Phillips, and even assuming Mazi Smith plays great this year, which is no guarantee still. Justin Rogers, a 7th-round pick. I do wonder if this means he makes the roster. They could go 5 deep at defensive tackle, but I think he's the 5th guy right now because Phillips is probably going to make this team. Joseph is, Mazi is, Osa is. Rogers would then be 5th. But you needed guys on the team. We spent so much time this offseason about it. Got to get another DT. Got to get a DT. You need help there. You are not in good enough shape. If you lose Osa, you're still not really in great shape. But you have more bodies available to rotate in at nose guard and not overwork one of them, keep their pitch counts a little bit more even, and have extra size that's not as reliant on one player on the interior. Now, I have officially asked the bosses to bring these back. We'll see if they allow it or not, or if they'll even let me make them anymore, since it actually is body positive. But should we make more Fatties Only t-shirts? Would you buy one? Y for yes, N for no in the comments section. To be clear, Mazi Smith is still going to be on this football team. He's not actually going anywhere. I think he'll play in the preseason game, which, maybe isn't what you want out of your first-round pick from last year, but that's where we're at. This also gives insurance. You don't have to, you're not as reliant on Mazi Smith having to be the number 1 nose guard. If he ends up struggling, he's only the number 2 once the games get going, you have Linval Joseph now as an option. I think this might spell not great things for Justin Rogers. I'm glad I didn't do my roster projection, by the way. We'll do that on tomorrow's live show and have it go out Friday. I've been very upset if I had done that and had to change everything there. But Jerry Jones, who made it very clear, he was looking to add defensive line help. The Cowboys were not done. Linval Joseph, I was looking back at our videos. We did one on May 19th. We're like, hey, keep an eye out for Linval Joseph. That had been reported. Finally happens in August. He'll be there when the Cowboys return to camp in Arlington and Frisco, but obviously not in Oxnard. You needed help on the interior. I still think you're in not great shape at defensive tackle overall. It's an older group with Linval Joseph and Jordan Phillips, but it's better than Albert Huggins and Denzel Daxon and Justin Rogers and Carl Davis. It's better. It does not excuse them from not doing more things in March and April, but progress. They at least do stuff in August. So before we go, one last question for you guys. Grade the signing of Linval Joseph. A, B, C, D, or F in the comments section.